Question number 4, Fergus Ewing.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the First Minister regarding the delivery of the Scottish Government's recently published Depopulation Action Plan, what will be different about this approach, which is described as local by default, national by agreement, particularly towards the approval of new developments supported by local communities?
First Minister.
The Addressing Depopulation Action Plan does set out the Scottish Government's strategic approach aimed at supporting local communities that are facing population decline. And I know it's an issue that the member has a significant interest in. And of course that is set against the very devastating impact that a hard Brexit is having on our rural and island communities. In terms of what the plan will do, it will deliver a whole new programme of work which will support and empower affected areas through funding, new research, enhanced partnership working with those local communities. And we do acknowledge, as Fergus Ewing has said, the importance of local leadership and that communities are best placed to respond to their own challenges.
Fergus Ewing.
Presiding Officer, young people leaving Scotland for other countries forever, for their lifetime, has been Scotland's tragedy and our shame. Therefore, will he, where there is a chronic depopulation problem, now agree that economic developments which would bring major jobs and major community benefits will henceforth be treated as developments of national economic significance?
First Minister.
Presiding Officer, I'm more than happy to look at that proposal. Of course, when planning applications are called into the Scottish Government, the whole range of factors are considered. Of course, the natural environmental impact, but also the economic impact is, of course, important. I won't comment on any, of course, specific live application, but Fergus Ewing is absolutely right. If we want to retain our young people, then we have to ensure that we create the economic opportunities. We have to ensure that we invest in the housing, which we're doing, of course, through our affordable housing supply programme in our rural communities, and we have to ensure that we invest in the connectivity, which of course we are also doing as well. But Fergus Ewing makes some very important points, but what is devastating our rural communities undoubtedly is the hard damage that has been caused by a hard Brexit foisted upon Scotland against its very will.
Pam Gossel.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Housing was mentioned 114 times in the Depopulation Action Plan. Yet Homes for Scotland were not consulted on the plan, nor were they even aware of it, despite being advisers for housing to 2040. Does the First Minister accept this failure to properly consult the sector on this plan as a huge misstep? And what action will he take to rectify this?
First Minister.
Presiding Officer, we engage regularly with stakeholders. If there has been an omission, of course, I'm more than happy to look at that, and I'll ask the appropriate Minister to do so. But I go back to the point I made to my response to Fergus Ewing. Housing in rural communities is absolutely essential when it comes to retaining and indeed attracting people to rural and island communities. And of course, we published our Rural and Island Housing Action Plan, published in October of last year, and it sets out a whole wide range of action that we're taking to support rural and island population. That includes, of course, continued investment in affordable housing, and of course 10% of those affordable houses being in rural and island communities, continued support to communities through our Rural and Island Housing Fund to bring forward housing where they wish to do so, up to £25 million, of course, from the affordable housing budget over the next 5 years to support housing for key workers, and a whole range of other action which I'm happy for the Housing Minister to write to Pam Gossel to give her confidence that we take seriously the issue of housing in our rural and island communities.